Doctor Strange 2 gets a new director. I haven't talked about this all. They lost Scott Derrickson. Rumored Sam Raimi's in talks. In talks means they're figuring out situations, probably talking money, etc., etc. I am so excited if this does happen. So this was another hot button one last week of like it seemed very 50-50 that people were very excited or people were like, Spider-Man 3, Oz Great and Powerful. I love Oz Great and Powerful. I'm a stand for that movie. That is a movie that so many times I'd put on like back to back to back days just to go to sleep to. I don't know why. It was just soothing. Good movie. I get what people say, and people always go to like, oh, Sam Raimi, he's a visionary director. He might not be able to work in the Marvel confines. For me, I always find that happens later on, and people throw in Spider-Man 3 and like, look how that movie turned out. He did Spider-Man 1 and Spider-Man 2, and then Spider-Man 3 was happening, and that's when a lot of hands got on the pot. We want you to do this, and he was already there, so I feel like he feels, well, this is my baby. I want to finish it out. To me, and why I don't agree with people saying, oh, he's going to be driven out. It's going to be like Edgar Wright. He's going to try, and he's going to get pushed back against, and he's going to leave. The reason I don't think that is because I think he knows what he's going into. I think it's kind of like a director, like when Tarantino was talking about taking on Star Trek. He's not doing that anymore, but when he was, it would be someone else writing it, and that's why I didn't think he would do it. But they were in talks, but that was just more of a rumor. Like literally, they're just talking in talks as far as this report, and it came from Justin Kroll Variety, who's like a scooper right now. In talks in that world is, hey, they are figuring it out, and what could we do money wise, financially, everything like that. To me, if they laid it out on the table and they said, we need to do this, and this, but then have your style going, I think we're not going to have any problems. And I think that, and I'm somebody, in my Birds of Prey review, I do give Marvel a little crap sometimes because some of the films feel a little samey, right? They feel a little like there's a template and you have to hit it. Doctor Strange 1 to me is one of those movies where it just feels so Marvel kind of factory. I don't really love as much as they want. I still enjoy it. There's still things in that movie I do love, but I feel like it's a big missed opportunity. Where to me, Black Panther, you hear that story Coogler tells of, hey, I went in there and because Ava DuVernay was rumored to direct Black Panther, it didn't happen. So everyone's like, oh, they're trying to force there or whatever. But Ryan Coogler says, hey, I met with Kevin Feige. He laid out a plan, like said, I need these characters to get to this part of the movie, but everything else that happens is up to you. Maybe Feige did this. I don't think Feige was like, I want Killmonger to have a racial slant and really get into the white versus black culture and the history of that. Maybe he did, and then kudos to him. But knowing Ryan Coogler and looking at his past work, I'm going to say that was Coogler's choice. And I'm going to say even Kevin Feige is somebody like, when I want to write movies, I could write something as far as white versus black or white versus any different race, right? But it's just, I don't feel I can tackle that topic the best. It's the same way as Damon Lindelof, right? He show ran Watchmen, but then what did he do? He got a bunch of females, he got a bunch of people of color to write that show and help him out with. You know why? Because as much as I try to relate, as much as I try to go, hey, I could understand these problems, I don't. As much as we check out our Watchmen review. I talked to Kyle, and me and Kyle have many conversations. He's one of my best friends. If you've only listened to audio, he's black. I've never gone through stuff he's had to gone through. I'm straight and I'm white. I have the most, easy lifestyle as far as just that. Of course, everyone has trials, tribulations. You lose things, you lose relationships, you have shitty days in life, but as far as just starting off at the base and what our terrible society has kind of punctuated the past few decades, I have that cookie cutter, just easy route. So that's why for me, I go, that's Coogler all the way. And that to me is the best Marvel movies. That's how they pitch it. Sometimes I don't think it always goes that route. I think that's their intention. But if this is, hey, Sam, Scarlet Witch is going to be in and she's maybe going to set up, let's say House M. She's going to set this up and we need the movie to end here with, let's say, Scarlet Witch dead, Doctor Strange going this way, and this stuff changed. Everything else, some dialogue, some jokes, the tone, the way you want to shoot, you can do that. We just need you to hit these story points for us. And Sam Raimi, who hasn't directed in 7 years, might go, hey, I don't mind having something laid out for me, something that's written. He's a massive Doctor Strange fan, so I'm sure he's jumping the chance. And that's why some people would always be like, oh, Kevin Feige, he's not, and maybe this is the case, so I can't do that voice, but I just thought so much like, they won't make a horror movie. I didn't think that was it, to be honest. You can go back through our podcast when we did that. I didn't think that was the main thing. Yeah, maybe sure. I thought it was more, hey, apparently this show ties into Loki and it ties into Scarlet Witch. That could be maybe annoying. The same way we kind of heard rumor that Matt Reeves' Batman was maybe supposed to be a Ben Affleck prequel, but then it was like, well, we need you to do this, this, and this, and maybe eventually he was just like, I just want to do a Batman movie, and they were like, yeah, maybe let's just let him do a Batman movie. I think that's why Scott Derrickson left. Maybe he did want to do a bit more horror-ish and like a bit more as close to PG-13. They went, that is too scary, or that is too much for our audience. But if I had to guess, to me it was, hey, you got to fit in all this stuff. And he wanted to tell a different story that didn't want to have that stuff be played with so much. But they go, this is Marvel and we are a TV show, right? You're coming into a direct episode. You're not the showrunner in the series. And maybe Sam Raimi can play ball a bit better. So I'm not really worried. And of course, so you get the conversations, right? Of you got this title, Multiverse of Madness. And you got Sam Raimi, who, again, why I'm happy with him directing this, he directed one of the best superhero origin movies of all time, Spider-Man, which, shoot me, but I think is better than Spider-Man 2. But Spider-Man 2, which many people say is one of the greatest comic movies of all time. Maybe it's dropped down some 10, best of 10 lists, but lots of people still say that. So I am all aboard. He does comic book stuff, he does comedy, he does horror, he does a collection of all that. I give this such a stamp of approval. I can't stamp it enough, as long as he gets that kind of Ryan Coogler effect, right? You got the title Multiverse Madness, and he directed Spider-Man movies. And you got Tobey Maguire, and everybody's been talking about this since, I don't know, past few years, especially after Spider-Verse. And especially it's been brought back up again with The Flash, Ezra Miller, Grant Gustin kind of scene, right? Of, oh man, don't they want to do this? Because whether or not that scene was good, which I thought it could have been better, it was great to see them together. It was lots of fun, and it was trending. Everyone couldn't talk about it. It was a massive topic for a week, right? If you were to do Toby and Tom in a movie, that's going to be talked about more for weeks. And in a movie where people are going to be like, oh my God, they did that, that's going to get word of mouth. People are going to want to see that. What are the chances? Because people are talking about what are the odds if I want to throw a percentage? It's tough. Because to me, in the Coogler effect, if they said this is the plan, I don't feel like Sam's going to come in and be like, okay, but you know what I also want? I want Toby to cameo. You could do the reverse that, because there was this rumor we talked about when we talked about our last news. When we talked about our last newscast, we discussed there was a rumor going around that Doctor Strange might go into different multiverses where you could find an Iron Man, you could find a Captain America, but being played by different actors. Does Doctor Strange go into a different multiverse, and just like House of M, he meets Spider-Man, but Spider-Man is a movie star, and he's not Spider-Man, he has a whole different life, and he's rich and famous and popular and sexy and all this stuff, which is, of course, is Tobey. But then when he looks over, it's not Tom Holland playing him, it's Tobey Maguire. I think that's pretty likely. I do want to get the Tom and Tobey connection. I do think it's a race between Spider-Verse 2 and Spider-Man live action of like who's going to get Tobey Maguire first, because I just think that is one of the biggest fan pops of all time. I think Feige wants that. J.K. Simmons being in this, we talked about that on that newscast, changed everything for me. I changed everything, even as far as me thinking that Hugh Jackman might be in the MCU one day. It changed a lot because it went, they're willing to dip their toes in certain pools again. So that's why I don't know what the meeting was, right? Was it like, oh, in the middle of the meeting, he's like, yeah, there's a time where Doctor Strange for fun or whatever the story, he's going to go through a bunch of universes. And we were thinking, if this were to work out, what if like we called Toby and we like a great kind of dovetail and closed off that loop, right? Of like giving him a nice little send off or giving him a cameo. Wouldn't that be fun? They could have been talking about that meetings, or was it just, this is what we're going to do? And this is the case. So so this is tough. If you have a gun to my head and if I say yes or no, I go yes. But then if I give you a percentage, I say 25%. So that doesn't make much sense, right? But I'm gonna say, fuck it. Play for the fans, right? I'm gonna give it 51%. I think it's a 50-50. I mean 51%. So yes. I think Tobey Maguire, if Sam Raimi is directing, will cameo. It might be something as quick as like the Watchers in Guardians 2, but I think it's going to happen. I think there'd be a fun thing. Sam Raimi and Kevin Feige work together on those movies, and just same thing as JK when they said they're having so much fun. Imagine that. Imagine even getting Toby and JK back together for a scene. I just think stuff like Stanley being a Watcher or being insinuated the Watcher and having the Watchers, they didn't need that in the film wall. That was pure fan service, and that to me was right fan service. I think Star Wars, even MCU can sometimes do that and goes, this doesn't work. That was right. I think finding a way for Tobey to be in there, it could work. So I'm going to go yes. I think it's going to happen. I think it's going to be something like a Watcher, a cameo. I don't think he's going to be a big character or whatnot. I don't think that's where he'll meet Tom, unfortunately. But maybe that opens up the doors for something else down the line. But that's my prediction. I think it's going to happen if Sam Raimi does, and I really hope Sam Raimi directs. So